Hello there, it's Milmo here, and I am back for some more of this All Out War number 2. This is Act number 2, and we're going to win ourselves a Sherry, an elite token, as you just seen there. Now, sticking with the typical team, we're starting off with the people stage here, so we're going to keep our Carl's leader, but then change up our teams a bit and bring in a couple of tough Andreas, the 4 and 5 star version, and also a Loria and Rosita. Now, as you can see in that ally slot, we've got my favourite ally, it's the notorious fast Rick there. Though it is the 5-star Rick, I'm not a big fan of him. I hate how they always throw him in for people stages, considering his leader skill has no use for people. It's the plus 24 crit and the medium boost to drop rates, which is it's pretty much irrelevant to people stages. It gives you no added benefit. For our zombie stages, it comes in handy with that plus 24 crit. But we will move on from our ally Rick there and continue on to this stage. I've just lost Rosita there, and that's purely because they had a lot of toughs in that first wave and even in this second wave here. And when you first start off on a stage with people, because your rushes take that time to go off, it disadvantages you a lot, especially if you come up against your opposite traits, as I did there with Rosita, so she died. But that's okay. That's why you bring in things like your smell and salts and other things like that, just purely so if something goes wrong in that first wave that you're able to bring them back. Usually once your rushes start kicking in, you can get through most stages fairly comfortable without using life, and that's just purely because if you could have something like a healing rush, then that's always great, and then if you can have a defense one, your big hitters, it just makes things a lot easier for you, whether it be being able to heal yourself, being able to get defense boosters, or being able to release your big hitters to get rid of those enemies quicker. Once that you sort of surpass that first stage, things become a lot easier, and if your team is good enough, then they'll get through it with flying colours. Of course, if your team's not up to grade, or you're not got the right combination, or just not powerful enough in regards to the strength of your team, then it's not going to make it full stop. A lot of people can go down within those first waves, but this team here, it just took that bit of a wait for their rushes to kick in, but as you can see, they've got through that stage fairly comfortably with only the one loss at the start there, which was Rosita. Now, probably one problem I had with that team is I didn't have a healer in there. It's always nice with lower grade teams if you can have a healer or two in there. And by doing that, it just boosts your chances that little bit, which can be the difference between you getting through a stage and not getting through it. Now, as you can see here, we've actually moved on to zombies, so we will change up our team here. This is my zombie team that I've sort of had a combination of, course, if you remember, I was using that B++ zombie team led by Kenny, but I've just changed it up a bit here and brought in Aaron and also Rick to replace those few others that I had in there. Still got Connor in there for his plus 35 rush, which is a great boost to this team. Like I said previously in the video, rush almost goes off continuously before the 3 turns, which means you're able to take advantage of that plus 35 crit without too much of a gap in between. Occasionally he doesn't always go off before that 3 turns, it's slightly halfway through, but most of the time he is having that continuation of that plus 35 crit, which makes these zombie stages a whole lot easier, especially paired up with Kenny's plus 36 leader skill. I am now really confident with these zombie stages and my zombie team. Before I had them led by Aaron, who had plus 24 crit, so getting that extra plus 12 crit has just made things a whole lot easier, and then combining that with Connor's plus 35 crit rush, it's just making these zombie stages a breeze for me now. I'm pretty much, if I'm not shooting for the channel, fast forwarding through any zombie stage, and these guys are handling it quite well, and that's even with few rushes going off at the same time that are crit rushes. So of course in this team I've got Eric, Rick and Connor with all rushes, and even when they're on fast forward going off and cancelling each other out, they're still getting through that stage easy, and the zombies are barely getting near them, which is what you like. Once you have a good zombie team, it sort of just makes things a whole lot easier, and you can start concentrate on, I guess, upgrading characters more in relevance for raids or defense teams or just people stages in generals, wars and things like that, so you can sort of concentrate on one aspect of the game in regards to try and to develop a team that's great against people, because you've already developed that pretty good high crit team, zombie team, so you're really comfortable with zombies, just like I am now. So now I'm just concentrated on building those people teams and getting a good mixture of different people teams. Basically all that means for you guys is just to look out. I'm going to have a lot of different sort of upgrading things happening, and also different mixtures of teams. So I have a lot of 5 stars now, which basically means I'm going to have a lot of different combinations of teams, which will involve all 5 stars, a mixture of 4 and 5 stars, melee, ranged, strongs, fast, toughs, alerts, and it's just going to be a whole heap of different teams. And I'm just going to be focusing on upgrading all my players I can to the 4th tier and getting them all up to date, and just making some epic teams out there, and making me basically a very hard opponent to beat in those defenses, and making some good war teams to help out my team or my faction. So I guess that is something for us both to look forward to, me being able to have these really nice teams, and you guys being able to see some of these top players in action, or some of the different combinations you can get with a variety of players, whether they be 5 stars or 4 stars. So things are definitely looking up, but we will continue on with these stages here, the first few stages of this Act 2. These guys, like I said, I feel comfortable enough. I don't think I really need to explain this team setup or how well they go. The amount of crit they actually are making is quite astonishing. I've explained it a lot before in regards to how I use Connor's Rush, and also the importance of building up all that crit. Your team grade is sort of irrelevant when it comes to zombies, as I always say. It's that crit count. You can get a very high crit count, you'll breeze through these stages, and I'm pretty thankful that I got Kenny's. He's making my teams look absolutely amazing, and just making these stages very easy and simple for me, which is what I like. It's allowing me to move on to other things. But that is the first 4 stages. I'll be back for more later. As always, thanks for watching.